Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money easily while others work hard and still struggle? Why does wealth often appear to flow to certain hands while others are left empty? Imagine living in a city filled with gold, opportunity, and wisdom, yet most people remain poor simply because they never learned the timeless laws of money. Today, we travel back thousands of years to the ancient city of Babylon, where the richest man shares secrets that can change how you think about wealth forever. The Richest Man in Babylon is not just a book about money, it is a guide to mastering your financial destiny. It teaches that anyone, no matter how small their income, can achieve wealth if they follow simple, disciplined principles. The big idea is this: wealth is not luck, it is a habit, built one decision at a time. By the end of this summary, you will understand exactly how ancient Babylonian wisdom can still shape modern success. Stay till the end, because the final chapter holds a secret mindset that can completely change your relationship with money. Chapter 1: The Man Who Desired Gold. Our story begins with a man named Bansir, a chariot maker in Babylon. He works tirelessly, yet at the end of every month, he is broke. One afternoon, while sitting on the half-finished wall of his home, he wonders, why do I always struggle while others live in wealth? He dreams of gold, of freedom, of never having to worry again. But dreams alone do not fill a purse. Soon, his friend Kabi, the musician, arrives. Kabi has the same problem: endless effort, no wealth. Together they realize something painful. They have spent years working, but never learning how money actually works. They decide to visit their childhood friend Arkid, known as the richest man in Babylon. When they ask him the secret of his wealth, Arkid tells them something shocking. He says, "I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earn is mine to keep." It sounds simple, but this one sentence hides a life-changing truth. If you want to grow rich, you must first learn to keep your money before spending it. Arkid explains that wealth begins not with more income, but with discipline. The moment you start saving even a small portion of what you earn, you plant the seed of fortune. Most people fail because they spend everything they make, leaving nothing to grow. He also reminds them that wealth is built slowly, like a tree that grows from a single seed. The longer you nurture it, the stronger it becomes. Bansir and Kabi realize for the first time that gold is not earned only by labor but by wisdom, and that wisdom begins with the decision to save. But Arkid promises to teach them more. He says, "If you wish to learn, come tomorrow and I will tell you the 7 cures for a lean purse." And that is where the true journey to wealth begins in Chapter 2. Chapter 2: The Richest Man in Babylon. The next morning, a crowd gathers in the great hall of Babylon. Word has spread that Arkid, the richest man in the city, will share his secrets of wealth. People from every walk of life come: merchants, laborers, soldiers, and craftsmen, all hoping to hear how a man who once earned the same as them became the wealthiest in all Babylon. Arkid stands before them, humble yet confident. He reminds the crowd that he started with nothing. He was once a poor scribe, copying clay tablets for a few copper coins a day. Yet today he owns lands, houses, and gold beyond measure. The question burns in everyone's heart: how did he do it? Arkid begins his lesson not with grand promises but with simple truth. He says, "I learned that to attract money, one must first respect it. Money is like a faithful servant. It serves those who understand its rules." He explains that his journey began when he worked for a wealthy merchant. Instead of spending everything he earned, he saved a small portion, just 1 coin out of every 10. At first, it seemed too little to matter, but month after month, those coins began to grow, and soon his savings became his seed of opportunity. Arkid teaches that the first step to wealth is to pay yourself first. Before paying rent, food, or pleasure, save at least 10% of every coin you earn. That money is yours to keep and build upon. Then he shares another lesson: learn to live on the rest. He reminds the crowd that most people try to save what is left after spending, but there is never anything left. Wealth grows when saving becomes your first habit, not your last thought. He also reveals the power of patience. He says, "Do not desire wealth that comes quickly. Such gold will vanish as fast as it arrives. Seek gold that grows slowly through wisdom and steady effort." This message strikes deeply in the hearts of those listening. They realize that wealth is not about luck or fortune, it is about choices, discipline, and consistency. As the crowd listens, Arkad promises to reveal something even more valuable. He says, "Today you have learned the foundation of wealth to keep what you earn. Tomorrow I shall teach you how to make your purse grow." The people lean forward, eager to learn what he means by making the purse grow. They understand now how to start saving, but the next lesson will show them how to multiply that gold. And that wisdom begins in the next chapter, The 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. Chapter 3, The 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. The next day, the people of Babylon gather again, eager to hear Arkad's lessons. The hall is filled with hopeful faces, all wanting the same thing: to learn how to make their purses heavy with gold. Arkad smiles and says, "If you learn these 7 cures and practice them, your purse will never again be lean." The crowd grows silent as he begins to share the ancient laws of wealth, 7 timeless steps that anyone, even the poorest, can follow. First cure: start thy purse to fattening. Save at least 1/10 of all you earn. Wealth begins when you keep a portion for yourself. Second cure: control thy expenditures. Do not confuse wants with needs. Live on less than you earn. Cut unnecessary desires and focus on what truly matters. Third cure: make thy gold multiply. Put your money to work. Invest it wisely so it produces more gold, just as seeds produce more harvests. Fourth cure: guard thy treasures from loss. Be cautious where you place your money. Seek advice before investing. Gold flees from the careless and the greedy. Fifth cure: make thy dwelling a profitable investment. Own your home. Let your living be an investment, not a drain on your income. Sixth cure: ensure a future income. Plan for tomorrow. Save for your old age and for your family. Build a foundation that time cannot destroy. Seventh cure: increase thy ability to earn. Never stop learning. The more wisdom and skill you gain, the more your earning power grows. Each cure is simple, but together they form the entire foundation of financial success. Arkad reminds them that wealth is not built overnight, it is earned through discipline, patience, and wisdom. As the crowd absorbs these lessons, one man stands up and asks, "If these rules bring wealth, then why do some men still fail?" Arkad smiles and says, "Because wealth favors those who act. Even good luck visits the man who takes action." And that promise, the secret of attracting good fortune, becomes the heart of the next lesson. Chapter 4, Meet the Goddess of Good Luck. In the next gathering, Arkad begins with a question: "Who among you believes in luck?" Hands rise all around. Everyone wants good luck. Everyone hopes fortune will bless them. Arkad nods and says, "Yes, good luck exists, but it visits only those who take action." He explains that most people wait for luck like a beggar waits for coins to fall from the sky. But true fortune favors the one who acts on opportunity. He tells a story of a man who once had the chance to buy land from a farmer who needed money. The land was rich in oil, but the man hesitated, thinking, "I will decide tomorrow." The next day, someone else bought it and became rich. That man missed his chance not because luck ignored him, but because he failed to act. Arkad says, action is the friend of luck. Procrastination is its enemy. He reminds the people that opportunity often hides behind simple decisions to save, to learn, to invest. When you take action with courage, luck follows. Arkad ends by saying, gold responds to those who follow its laws, and it rewards those who respect it. The crowd, now inspired, asks him then, what are the laws that govern gold? Arkad replies, The 5 laws of gold will show you how to keep fortune once it arrives, and that opens the gate to the next lesson, the 5 laws of gold. Chapter 5, the 5 laws of gold. As the sun sets over Babylon, the citizens gather once more to learn the most powerful secret, yet the laws that control gold itself. Arkid begins with a simple truth. Gold is governed by the same laws as the wind and the rain. He who understands these laws shall have gold flow to him. The crowd leans forward as Arkid reveals 5 eternal rules that protect and multiply wealth. First law, gold comes gladly to anyone who saves at least 1/10 of his income for the future of himself and his family. Second law, gold works diligently for the wise owner who finds profitable use for it. Money grows when it is invested carefully. Third law, gold clings to the protection of the cautious owner who invests under the advice of experienced men. Fourth law, gold slips away from those who invest in things they do not understand or that promise impossible returns. Fifth law, gold flees from those who try to force it into unreal profits or follow the advice of fools. Arkad's voice echoes in the silent hall. He reminds them that these laws are not magic, they are discipline, common sense, and self-control. He says, the fool looks for shortcuts. The wise man follows the laws and lets time be his ally. By now, the people of Babylon have learned how to earn, save, and grow their gold. But Arkid warns them even with knowledge, mistakes can still destroy fortune. He says, next, you shall hear of those who lost their wealth and what their stories teach us. And that leads us to the next part of this journey, the gold lender of Babylon. Chapter 6. The gold lender of Babylon. In this chapter, we meet Rodan, a young spear maker of Babylon. His skill and reputation earn him great respect, and recently, a royal soldier rewarded him with a handsome sum of gold. Rodan is proud, yet uncertain. For the first time in his life, he holds real wealth, but he does not know what to do with it. Soon, his sister comes to him with a request. Lend the gold to her husband, who wishes to start a business. Rodan hesitates. He feels the pull of family loyalty, but something inside him whispers, what if he cannot repay? Unsure, Rodan goes to seek the wisdom of Mathon, the gold lender of Babylon, a man known for lending wisely and never losing his fortune. Mathon listens patiently, then teaches Rodan one of the most important financial lessons. Be not too confident of your own wisdom in entrusting your gold to others. He explains that lending money is not about kindness, it is about judgment. One must lend only to those who have a plan and experience in the trade they pursue. Mathon shows Rodan his collection of clay tablets, each one a record of a loan. Some stories end in repayment, others in loss. The difference, he explains, always lies in character and wisdom. He warns Rodan that lending to an inexperienced man, even if he has good intentions, is dangerous. Gold must be protected, not gambled on dreams. Rodan finally understands, kindness must never replace wisdom when it comes to money. With gratitude, Rodan thanks Mathon for saving him from a foolish mistake. As he leaves, Mathon reminds him, the first sound principle of lending is security for your loan. The second is the borrower's ability to repay. This lesson spreads across Babylon, and soon it becomes clear that wealth not only requires earning and saving but also defending. Next, the people will learn how the strong protect their city and their wealth in the walls of Babylon. Chapter 7. The Walls of Babylon. The story shifts to a time of danger. The mighty city of Babylon is surrounded by enemies. Soldiers stand guard as citizens hide behind thick stone walls. Inside the city, fear spreads. But one old soldier, standing on the tower, looks calm. He says, these walls will hold. They have been built strong, just like a wise man builds his fortune. This chapter uses Babylon's walls as a metaphor for financial protection. Just as walls protect a city from invaders, financial planning protects you from life's unexpected hardships. The old soldier's faith in the walls reminds us that wealth is not only about making money, it is also about defending what you have. Arcad's teachings echo here: protect yourself against loss. Guard your income with insurance, savings, and wise investments. Build your financial walls before danger comes, not after. Babylon survived not because it was lucky, but because it prepared in peace for the storms of war. The people of Babylon are safe behind their strong walls, and the lesson is clear: security is as important as opportunity. But in the next story, we meet a man who loses everything not because of war, but because of choices. His journey teaches us about pride, mistakes, and redemption. That story begins in the next chapter, The Camel Trader of Babylon. Chapter 8, The Camel Trader of Babylon. Meet Tarkad, a young man sitting hungry outside a tavern. His stomach growls, his pockets are empty, and shame fills his heart. He owes money to many men but has none to pay. As he sits in despair, he sees Dabasir, the camel trader, approaching one of the men he owes. Tarkad fears he will be scolded, but instead Dabasir sits beside him and begins to tell his own story, the story of how he too was once broke, hopeless, and trapped in debt. Dabasir explains that long ago he lived recklessly. He spent money faster than he earned it and soon found himself enslaved by debt. One day he was sold into slavery in Syria. Life seemed over, but there he met a wise woman who told him, "Within the soul of every man lies the power to rise above his misfortune." Those words changed him forever. Dabasir decided to repay his debts and rebuild his honor. He escaped slavery, returned to Babylon, and worked tirelessly. He divided his income into parts, one for living, one for debt, and one for savings. Slowly, the debts vanished and his dignity returned. He tells Tarkad, a man's wealth is not in the coins he holds, but in the control he has over himself. Inspired by this story, Tarkad realizes that his hunger is not just for food, it is for self-respect. Dabasir's journey shows that even the deepest financial pit can be escaped if a person commits to discipline and repayment. He says, where determination lives, failure cannot enter. The chapter ends with Tarkad standing ready to face his debts and rebuild his life. But Dabasir's legacy does not end here. His wisdom will be recorded forever in the clay tablets of Babylon, the next part of this story. Chapter 9, The Luckiest Man in Babylon. Many people believe success comes down to luck. Some call it fate, others call it destiny. But what if luck was something you could actually create every single day? In this chapter, Arcad teaches that luck is never random. The luckiest people in Babylon were those who took consistent action on opportunities while others hesitated. Luck, he says, favors the prepared mind. The man who invests in his skills, observes carefully, and acts swiftly when the right chance appears, becomes what others call lucky. He gives an example of a merchant who spotted an opportunity to buy a rare gem but waited, thinking the price might drop. Another man, quicker and more decisive, purchased it and doubled his fortune the next day. Luck came not from fortune's wheel, but from the courage to act. Arcad concludes, action breeds luck, while hesitation breeds regret. The luckiest man in Babylon was not the one blessed by fate, but the one who believed in his own readiness to seize the moment. So the question remains, what do you do when opportunity knocks? Do you wait for a clearer signal, or do you open the door immediately? Because the next chapter reveals what separates those who simply live from those who truly prosper. Chapter 10, The Clay Tablets from Babylon. Centuries later, long after Babylon's golden walls crumbled, archaeologists uncovered clay tablets. What they found would rewrite the story of wealth forever. These tablets contain Tarkad's timeless financial principles, lessons of saving, investing, and living within one's means. Even after thousands of years, the advice was shockingly relevant. The words carved into those tablets spoke of patience, discipline, and purpose. One tablet described how a simple worker applied Darkad's advice to become financially free. Another recorded how merchants avoided ruin during hard times by setting aside 1/10 of their earnings. These records were not myths, they were proof that wealth principles endure across time. The book closes with a profound idea. Civilizations may rise and fall, but the laws of money remain unshaken. Those who honor them build their own Babylon wherever they live, and that is the eternal secret. You do not need to be born in Babylon to live like its richest man. You only need to practice the same timeless wisdom. The Richest Man in Babylon is not just a book, it is a blueprint for anyone tired of living paycheck to paycheck and ready to take control of their financial life. Its wisdom can be summarized in 3 eternal principles. Save at least 10% of all you earn, invest wisely and make your money work for you. Guard your wealth by seeking knowledge before taking risks. These lessons remind us that wealth is not a miracle, it is a method. Anyone who learns, applies, and practices these truths can build a fortune from nothing. If this summary inspired you, imagine what mastering these principles could do for your own financial story. Start saving today, act with discipline, and let your Babylon rise, brick by brick. Now tell me, are you ready to become the richest person in your own life story?